small businesses. Which FAR part applies? Greetings and welcome to the Contracting Guy. I am the Contracting Guy, and today I want to talk to you about which FAR part applies. Whenever a small business kind of dives into the federal contracting, one of the first things that hit them square in the head is the Federal Acquisition Regulation, the FAR. The FAR is a rather voluminous piece of work. It's about, in the forms that it comes, it's maybe about 2.5, 3 inches thick, and it is just like 1,900 pages. It's big. And when you look at that, you go, oh my God, how can I get through this? And the reality is that, yeah, it's going to be difficult if you think of the FAR in that way. What I want to present to you is a technique that you should use when pursuing federal contracts. And generally speaking, if you're providing services, you'll do services. If you're providing supplies and goods, you'll do supplies and goods. So the more finite the work that you do, the more tailored the FAR is to your situation. For instance, we're going to be sticking to commercial items under the simplified acquisition threshold and small businesses. So we're going to be looking at that group, and we'll be looking at services. So you're providing a service and you're a small business, and we're going to be using the simplified acquisition procedures. So first thing, you're going to look at FAR Part 12. FAR Part 12 is the commercial items purchases. And then you're going to be looking at FAR Part 13, which is the simplified acquisitions. Then, because you're a small business, we're going to look at FAR Part 19. That's going to help you out there because it'll help better understand what your position is and how that sits. And since you're going to be providing a service, that's covered under FAR Part 37. Now, those are the four main pieces that you are going to experience in that. If you're providing a supply, FAR Part 37 wouldn't be included. If you're doing a sealed bid, FAR Part 14, you would include that. If you're doing a negotiated procurement, which is generally a bigger time thing, you're going to be looking at FAR Part 15. All of these things become important, and they'll be defined in the kind of documents that you'll be using. And every solicitation will tell you what rules to follow. What you need to do is follow those rules. So if I told you that FAR Part 12, 13, 19, and 37 are appropriate, what you could reasonably come up with is that everything else isn't. Now, to some degree, there are some involvement, but for the most part, they're not going to apply too much. And you don't have to remember them. That which you have to remember will be in the solicitation, not in the regulation. The solicitation drives what you look at, not the regulation. Got that? Solicitation drives to regulation. You don't have to know the regulation. You just have to know what the solicitation says. And the solicitation says, these are the things you pay attention to. So this has been kind of a little bit of a game, but I want you to demystify the FAR and demystify your requirements, because when you look at them from a practical standpoint, you don't have to know all 52 parts of the FAR. What you have to do is know the parts that are pointed in your direction. That's kind of important. So with that being said, keep in mind one thing. The FAR only needs to be understood to the extent that the solicitation directs it to. So you don't have to memorize the FAR. You just have to know enough about the FAR that the solicitation refers to. This is the Contracting Guy. I'm out. Thank you for watching the Contracting Guy. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. We'd appreciate that. This is the Contracting Guy. I'm out.